Okay, to maintain a safe and healthy working environment, a company must implement strong HSE standards that is well anchored in the company's or organizational code of conduct. HSE must be highly prioritized by the management and all concerned, informed on the need to maintain high standard of HSE. Everybody is involved, from the top management to the people that are working in the company or in the industry, and it must be enshrined in the company's code of conduct. You have to train your staff to understand the rudiments, the in-depth concepts when we are talking about safety before they even move to site. Don't allow your apprentice, your staff, maybe you employ him newly, to go to site without letting him understand safety. This video can be of help if you don't have the time to sit down and nurture them when it has to do with safety. So you can share this video with your staff, let them go through it. If question arises, they can ask you, or they can private chat us. We'll always be there to assist, because we are looking at the engineers working in a safe environment. We don't want to hear stories. So that is the reason we make this training compulsory to anybody that wants to work with us. We have to document this for the sole purpose of saving lives. So we are saying that HSE is all encompassing, and they relate to personnel from strategic management, tactical management, operational management. So everybody is concerned when safety is mentioned. It is not something you give it to the top managers to discuss. It is not something, because it is the top management that will put the necessary measures in place, so that anybody that got the approval to work with the company should follow same. So if the top management neglects these aspects in the power generation business, the story is not always pleasing to the eye. We have seen, and we have heard. So that is the reason we bring this news, this training, this documentation, so that it can help save life. It can help save the environment. It can help save the properties or the solar components we want to look at. So let's look at 11 elements of a successful HSE management system. 11 elements of a successful HSE management system. What are those things they must have in place? Safety inspection checklists. Safety inspection checklists. So before you move to sites, the team leaders, the HSE personnel must check you and ensure that you follow international standard when it has to do with safety. If you are not fully kitted, it is the responsibility of the HSE to call you to call your attention that, look, hey, you must be fully kitted. So they must have checklists. If you want to erect the scaffold, they must have the checklist that will ensure that the scaffold is fit for use. So they control and distribute up-to-date documents. There are documents that has to do with safety. So they have to be in possession of those documents so that they share it to all concerns. That is their responsibility. That is their department. Most times when you go to sites, the HSE officers, they are not the people who carry the solar panel. They are not the people who does the installation. Their own is always to be on the alert. Their responsibility is to be on the alert and ensure that you follow standards. They look at risk assessment. You want to climb a 3-story building or a 5-story building. They need to check the risks involved if you want to use ladder. And they will write to the company and say, no, we need scaffold. When it has to do with risks, they have to assess the risks, whether it is worth taking. If it is not worth taking, they will communicate with the management and necessary actions or action will be followed. They follow up laws on health and safety regulations for compliance. We've already said that there are laws in place when it has to do with safety. So they will always follow up laws to ensure that we comply with the regulation. They establish experienced HSE team. We say team, we are not saying a one-man venture or a one-man business. HSE, they work as a team, so they have to train other people, they have to train the staff to be part of the HSE team. Everybody must be involved when it has to do with safety. Don't say it's not my business. Don't say I don't have, I'm already there. There are things you need to learn when it has to do with safety. Measurable performance metrics, organizing regular management reviews. They have to meet with the management and review the HSE standard. They ensure internal audit policy and schedule. That is, they communicate with the management to ensure that things are done the right way. Organizing regular meetings and communication strategy. There must be a communication between the management and the people that are working in the field so that proper action is always taken when it's demand. So organizing training program for the workforce. Organizing training program for the workforce. So there must always be a time set aside for the HSE team to train the workforce on safety. Then organizing emergency response plan. Peradventure something happen, there must always be a plan in place to arrest any eventuality. Let's look at causes of health and safety hazards while you are working. You are working on site and we say that there is no environment, there is no workplace. If you are working in the office, you are working on site, you are driving, you are even walking on the street, we have to be safety conscious. There are always some factors, there are things that causes health and safety hazards to us, to the materials, and to the environment. Let's take a closer look at them. There are many factors that contribute to health and safety hazards in workplace, and each of the factor or factors come with its own unique characteristic or characteristics. So each of the factor that causes health and safety hazard always come with its own unique characteristics. The very first thing that causes health and safety hazard is you, the people that are working. People that are working. I can be the cause for an accident to happen. Your friend can be the problem, the cause of accidents to happen while you people are working. So humans are the very first cause for safety or health and safety hazard. We understand that. So materials, the materials we use, the components we use, the environment we are working, that is the site, the process you are using to actualize or to meet up a particular task. So we are looking at the process. Health and safety hazard don't occur because of a single event. Most times those things, those factors that we have listed don't just happen independently. Accident is always associated with multiple factors. Sometimes it might be a combination of people, human and equipment, human and environment, human and the process. So we are saying that most times it doesn't just happen as a single event. Accident is always associated with multiple factors that result in those unfortunate events, and it's pertinent for employers to be aware of such factors, as this will help protect accidents in workplace. So when you understand those things that causes health and safety hazards, it will help you make provision on how to avoid health and safety hazard while you are working. So let's take a closer look at factors that causes health and safety hazard while you are working. While you are working, what are those things that causes health and safety hazard? You want to climb, you want to mount the solar panel. Height, on top of that is height. You want to climb off the rooftop. So height can always cause health and safety hazard. Slippery floor, material obstruction. So it's always important, when you understand this, you always make provision on how to guide against any accidents from happening. Sharp objects, unlevel material. Sometimes you go to site, you finish installation. All these points are very easy to understand. Unlevel materials, maybe you finish installation, you don't label the cables that you are using. You just finish terminating the solar cables, you don't remember to label it. Unlabeled materials, horseplay, unwanted joke. That is, you are walking and you are joking. You are doing. That is, you are joking with the process, or unwanted joke while you are walking. It can lead to a very serious hazard. Somebody might be offended because of what you are saying, because before you know it, he was walking with maybe hammer and eventuality because of anger. Some people have anger problem. He might use it on you, God forbid. Then desperation while walking. You are desperate. When you are working in the solar industry, in the power generation business, don't be tense. Always take things step by step. If you are not, if your mind is not where you are working, please suspend that thing and do it next time, because when you are desperate and you are working, it might cause a very serious havoc. It might cause a very serious havoc to your life or to equipment. So let's look at some protective measures while working on site. Let's look at some protective measures while you are working on site. We have talked about the fact that while working on site, ensure you protect yourself against falling from height. We mentioned that height is the very first thing that might lead to health and accident. So while working on site, you have to ensure that you protect yourself against falling from height by adopting best international practices. You can see this is your scaffold. We want to carry this solar panel up to the top of the roof. We don't use ladder. It depends on the height. But most times, if you look at, you assess the risks involved using ladder, you can go for scaffold. So you can improvise yourself with any of these based on the condition surrounding the installation. We are saying that you should stop work when it is raining. When it is raining, please ensure that you stop work. It's dangerous, it's very risky for you to keep on working on power lines or electrical circuits or doing installation while it is raining. So ensure you avoid electric shock by all means. You can see this plier, it has peeled off. This other tool is not even insulated. It's not insulated. So please avoid using tools of this nature on electrical circuit. It poses a very serious threat to your life. It poses a very serious threat to life. You can be electrocuted using this thing. Is not just buy a new one. You have to properly insulate all the iron parts, the tools that you are working with. You have to insulate them. So the next thing is avoid working alone, please. Don't work alone. There are situations that warrant assistance. Maybe you are in a very serious challenge when it has to do with accidents and there is nobody to help you. So avoid working alone. Always go with people to site in case of any eventuality. So check for damaged tools and replace them. We have been noticing some people use this kind of thing to work with. So please buy a new one. So ensure you are fully kitted. You can see the engineer here, he's fully kitted. He's fully kitted with his helmet, safety, reflect, and every other thing. So ensure that you are fully kitted before you venture into installing solar system, or even before you even start work. Ensure you are fully kitted with your PPE, personal protective equipment, while working on site, including, we have here your safety boots, high hats, coverall, body harness, eye goggle, ear plug or ear muff. Each of these tools have its own role to play when you are working on site. The safety boots will protect your leg from stepping on sharp objects. Then your helmet, your head is adequately protected, your body harness, so that you don't fall. Then your coverall, it protects your body from chemicals or adverse effects of anything. So your eye goggle protects your eye, your earmuff. When you are cutting, it is the earmuff that protects you from adverse effects of the sound that will be produced. Your hand gloves protects your hand from injury. You can see, except the hand glove the engineer is not wearing, but he's fully kitted. That is what we are saying. So you can consult our own textbook, Solar Toolbox, for more info when it has to do with tools, how to use them professionally. You look up our Solar Toolbox textbook and you will be guided accordingly. There are videos that has to do with how to use each of the tools professionally, and we have series of them, thousands of them in the solar industry. So you have to be acquainted with how to use those tools and the basic tools you need in the solar industry.